I think this Call of Duty champs is going to be one of the best ever. I'm just really excited about what's coming up for us in the next year and beyond. It means that the Canadian esports scene has arrived, Amy. Not only are we hosting, Canada as a country is hosting the Call of Duty League World Championship, but we're also hosting the next Valorant Major right here in Toronto as well in the same month of June. And mid-season invitational for League of Legends is going to be in Vancouver. So that's three major international events in Canada in 2025. I can't think of another country, maybe ever, that has had three major international events in that country in 1 year. So Canadians should be proud. Canada has arrived. Esports, baby.
Yeah, there's like no shortage of interesting like esports events happening in Canada, and as you said, PCG Masters, League of Legends taking place later this year. How do you kind of see all these esports events impacting our like growth, whether it be Toronto, Ontario, or Canada in general?
Well, I think, look, first of all, I hope that our teams, we've got movie star Chloe teams in Valorant and League of Legends, great, fantastic teams. Hopefully, they're both going to qualify, and we're going to have our teams here across all three of those main events. But look, these major international tournaments drive a tremendous amount of not only viewership, but in-person attendance, hotels, all of the other things that go with the restaurants and the parties and the nightlife and the travel and that kind of stuff. So it's a big boost to the economic activity of whatever city is hosting any of these events. And if look, I mean, Canada and Canadians have had a bit of a tough time over the last little while with changes in the international trade regimes, let's say, and bringing in international dollars into our cities to boost the restaurants and the economy and the people and all of the things that go with it is just exactly what we need more of in this country in general. And we're so happy to do our part to do that for Canada and really to put on what is a world-class event for the world. I think this Call of Duty champs is going to be one of the best ever in the history, and that's what we intend to do. And I can't wait to basically put it all together for everybody.
For sure, thank you. I remember attending the Overwatch Overwatch League Grand Finals back in 2023 here, and the crowd was absolutely wild. It was amazing. I'm wondering, does Toronto have an advantage with Toronto Ultra is hosting this champ?
Yeah, I think so. Although I will say we've never won in Toronto, okay? But we've always done very well in our events in Toronto, both our Overwatch team when we had the events here and our Call of Duty team. You do get that. Look, there is a lot of hype when everybody's cheering for you. And if you were there for the Overwatch, that was actually not only the World Championship of the Overwatch League, but that was the last Overwatch League event ever. And we were so honored again at the time to be the ones that they chose to host and run it here in Toronto. And when you go into a Call of Duty event and you have the ultra purple everywhere and you have the fans, our fans are so great in terms of the events that we've had over here. And one of the things that I feel most proud of is just how much we've grown the Call of Duty community here. You can't help though, but just have that extra push when you're playing the game and everybody's cheering for you. So, and then you've got your friends and your family and everybody here. Look, it's a wonderful event. Having said that, this will be a world championship. So it's being hosted by Toronto Ultra, but we're going to do it for the benefit of all Call of Duty fans around the world, frankly. And this is an international game. And look, while Toronto may not win, I hope they do, like Optic Texas won at their event last year. Whoever wins, we want them to walk away thinking this has been an unforgettable experience. That is what we feel that we owe the Call of Duty community and the many, many fans that are going to come to Canada to watch this event.
Thank you. Speaking of, the venue, what would you say makes this chosen venue special, and how would the event become unforgettable to people who are like traveling from all around the world? Would there be like activations there, for example? Will there be like booths for people to create signs?
There will be. Well, first of all, we're going to basically start sharing some of these things over time. We're at the end of Major Twos here. That's roughly the halfway point of the Call of Duty season. We're going to start providing some additional information as we go forward. There will absolutely be activations, but let me kind of give you some maybe scoops for your fans because we haven't talked about that. There's a number of things that we're going to be doing. One of the things that is very important for us is that we want to have door-to-door bus service while you land at the airport from Pearson here in Toronto. We want to have bus service that will take you straight from there to your hotel or the location in the Waterloo region. It's about 50 minutes away, depending on traffic, 45, 50 minutes away. So it's not very far, but we want to have an experience where you come in, there's a bus, it's going to take you there. For our fans in the Greater Toronto area who are thinking, how do I get there? How do I get back? We will have transportation available one way or the other for our fans. You get a ticket. We will have some signups. We're going to basically have transportation available from a convenient location here in the city of Toronto to a convenient location over there to watch it. And whether you want to come back at the end of the day or stay there for the period of the time that the event is going on, that can be up to you. But we will accommodate easy transportation back and forth to the region over there. This isn't a situation where we want to make things more difficult for people. We want to make it kind of door-to-door service for everybody. Finally, the Odd is a wonderful arena there in the Waterloo region. One of the reasons we chose that is because it allowed us to do a 360-degree center stage, which we think is the way to watch esports. And there is no way really that we could figure out to do that in the city of Toronto venues that are available over there. So we will be arranging for a 360-degree beautiful center stage, okay, where the players will be looking at each other as they're playing, and then the fans will be circled around them. There will be activation areas there. We will have partnerships with hotels, restaurants, after parties. One of the great things about doing it in a smaller city or a smaller region like Waterloo, which I might add has 700,000 people over there. So we're not talking tiny, okay? It's a pretty big city by North American standards, but the city itself and the Waterloo region is our partner. And because of that partnership, we are going to get white glove treatment for this event, for the Call of Duty League, for Toronto Ultra, and for all of the fans globally that are going to come to the region for the game.
As you mentioned, white glove, the special treatment, like high quality, making sure everyone is getting that 360 view of the champs. My question is, looking back from when, you guys just had, OverActive Media just had Toronto Ultra. I remember there was like a party and there was like a mascot there. We all got free posters. Thinking back then to like now, that whole journey, how would you describe OverActive Media and how its approach to esports is over the years?
Well, our approach hasn't changed much. We've just gotten bigger and more successful, I would say. Our flagship property here in North America is Toronto Ultra. And we've hosted majors every year that there has been a major, okay? I think beginning in 2022, 23, 24. In 2025, we hosted the first Call of Duty League major of the year in Madrid, Spain, okay? And so that was a Toronto Ultra event in Spain. And the reason we did it in Spain is because the broader organization is under the umbrella of Movistar Koi, which is our kind of universal brand, one of the biggest esports teams in Europe and really around the world. And social media presence and amazing live events. And we have done many live events for both. We are very active in live events both in Europe and here in North America. And from our perspective, Amy, like the live esport event is at the heart of esports. And if you go back kind of many years in esports, some of the greatest memories that we have are like some of the Counter-Strike majors or some of the Call of Duty majors or some of the League of Legends majors. There's just nothing that compares to being there, watching, the legends basically being formed before your eyes. And from our perspective, we are fully invested in being active in all of the major esports. Again, Valorant, we're in League of Legends, we're in Call of Duty. I don't think we've announced a couple of teams that we're there, but we're a partner organization in the Esports World Cup. So we'll be making more announcements from that perspective over there as well. We just announced that we've launched into Mexico with a Free Fire team. And then, of course, up here in North America, we've got Toronto Ultra. So we're a big, global, successful company where the fan experience is at the center of everything that we do.
I love it. Thank you. And my second last question for you is, you bring CDL's champs to Canada after hosting the major one in Madrid earlier this season, as you just said. But why now? Why is right now the best time to do it?
Well, why not? Why not have it here? Look, we, as I said, I think when we were talking to the league about the live events this year, I'm very proud of the fact that OverActive Media and Toronto Ultra have been, I would say, the most dependable partner to Activision in the Call of Duty League over the years in terms of being there to accommodate live events, working through them with COVID, with the changes in the league structures that we've had, being over there to be a constructive, positive voice for the future of esports in North America. And we really wanted to do an event in Europe this year. Europe is such a big market if you're there, and we are there all of the time. And there are so many passionate fans on that side of the pond. And we have not had a chance for the Call of Duty League to actually go back in 5 years, maybe 6 years. And we really wanted to bring it over there. We have the capabilities, we have the teams, we have the people. And it was very hard for us because we don't want to leave Toronto. Like, we didn't want to just do it in Madrid and not do it in Toronto. And so we were saying, please give us 2 majors, right? And then we came back and they said, well, how would you think about hosting champs? And it was, wow, okay, well, that solves that problem. We could have a major in Madrid and we could have champs here in Toronto. And it just all came together so perfectly for us to be able to do both.
And my last question for you is, as you said, OverActive Media has made some big moves recently. What's the strategy going forwards, or what's next, or what are you excited about?
Well, there's a lot of things to be excited about, I think, in esports. I think for us, we and our entire team, I think we've done such a great job of building the pieces, kind of step by step in the markets that we think are right for us and for esports. And as I mentioned, we are among probably the biggest organizations in the world right now. We kind of snuck through, I think, over the years, from starting up about 5 years ago to now, there's few that compare with us. We're in all of the biggest leagues that we really want to be in. We're among the biggest. Our skins for Valorant, for League of Legends, for Call of Duty are among the best selling because we've got so many fans around the world. And I think we're trying to look at the key markets that we can expand into in a structured way. And so, obviously we've got Europe. We're the strongest organization, or at least top 2 or 3 in Europe, I would say. Certainly the biggest in Spain. And then, of course, we own Canada. I think that's fair to say. We are largely because of our Spanish language followers. We're tremendously big across Latin America and Mexico. And so we're looking at how we can basically leverage that. But the biggest opportunity for us that we're looking at over the next little while is China and Asia in general. And it's no secret that China is the biggest market for esports in the world. And one of the most wonderful surprises that I kind of came across is as we started to sell MTX, microtransaction things for the Valorant skins in Asia, our biggest single market was China. And I had no idea that we were that big in China. Maybe that's my fault for not doing my research, but that highlighted to me that that's a market we have a lot of potential in. So you will be hearing, I think, over the next little while, our strategy for Asia and in particular China. I'm very excited about what we're planning. I'm going to leave it there because we're not ready to announce it yet. But we are truly one of the very few global esports companies, and I think we're doing it successfully. We're doing it the right way. We're doing it fan first and with a live event focus. And I think, I'm just really excited about what's coming up for us in the next year and beyond.
All right, those are my questions. Thank you. Looking forward to more of these fan first events. There's just nothing that compares to being there yourself. It's just incredible, and meeting people there,
Yeah.
even your teammates there as well.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes you only meet people that you haven't seen in years, or at least since the last event, and then you go there and you kind of meet a whole bunch of people. We've done so many live events. People are not aware because again, the people here might not be following our Movie Star Koi teams, but beginning in November we had what we call the Koi Con, which is basically all of our teams playing kind of in an exhibition format. I think we had like about 4,000 people there watching that. And then we had Call of Duty League Major 1, which was in January as well. That kind of came together all at the last minute. That was a wonderful success over there as well. Then we've got, at the end of April, we've got LEC on the road. So this will be the very first time that League of Legends is doing like a live regular season matches outside of the studio in Berlin. And we're bringing that to Madrid. I think that will be the single biggest esporting event in the West by attendance this year. Okay, I think it's going to be bigger than MSI actually, or even the Valorant major here in Toronto. That tickets are just selling, and it's going to be packed, and that's going to be a great event. That's April, and then we've got Call of Duty World Championships in June, and then beyond that, we've got what we're going to announce. So, yeah, it's really busy, but it's so much fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam,